Today's video, I'm sharing with you guys something that's very difficult for me to talk about. So some of you guys know the story about my arowana jumping, which arowanas do, but how he fell and the course of events that took place next severely injured him. For the first 12 hours, I monitored him within the aquarium. He was breathing fine, but clearly he had damaged his swim bladder. The swim bladder is what keeps the fish's buoyancy in the aquarium, and his was damaged to the point that he couldn't control it anymore. He was upside down at the bottom of the aquarium. Giving him some time to potentially recover was a good idea. A lot of the times, these big fish can hurt themselves or stun themselves and recover within a few hours. That didn't happen with him, so the next day, I built him a floating tank. This would relieve the pressure off of his swim bladder. This helped him a little bit more. He became more stable in the tank, and his breathing patterns didn't get worse, but they stayed consistent. The following day, I realized I have to take further action. You see, I noticed that his swim bladder on one side was causing him to kind of float up in a weird way and almost bend his body. Since he couldn't control how much air was in it, I relieved the pressure myself with some syringes. This is a very common procedure, and as long as you know how to locate the swim bladder, especially in an Asian arowana, which is so large, it's completely safe and very commonplace to do. This corrected his floating. It didn't correct him from floating upside down, but he now floated perfectly even in the water. I decided to take further action and treat him for any sort of constipation to keep his his intestines moving, as well as to treat any internal swelling. And a good option for that that's really safe is to put him in a magnesium sulfate dip, lasting from anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes. Magnesium sulfate is referred to as Epsom salt. While it's not a salt like sodium chloride, like your regular salt, it is a naturally occurring mineral compound. In fact, recovered from, I believe it's taken from Epsom, England. That's where it gets its name. I did a 5-minute dip last night, holding him in, and he looked like okay. Of course, this is an injury that could take weeks, if not months, to recover from, so I'm in no rush. However, I was going to do a dip every day, extending the dip and increasing the dosage as I went. Unfortunately, the damage was too great, and he didn't make it. I came in this afternoon, or this morning, and he's passed away. Unresponsive, and he's a bit stiff, so I suspect this happened late last night. I know I've taken the correct steps and precautions to try to save him, and I don't feel like I could have done anything else. At the end of the day, this is a loss we're going to have to deal with. I guess talking to you guys is making it a little easier on me. And I appreciate all of the support you guys have given me over the past few days. It's absolutely inspiring and astounding to see how many people care for an individual fish. It is summertime here in Canada, though. The ground isn't frozen. I will be able to bury him. So, the last few days, the last couple of days, I've felt this overwhelming sense of, loneliness. For a guy that has so many eyes on him, you wouldn't believe how lonely I felt. And I didn't even want to go out into the gallery, so I haven't gotten a whole lot done out there. thought it was something else that might have been bugging me, but I realized that I'm going to lose my little buddy. I know a lot of people have been asking what his name is, or, I should have gave him a name. He's had a name. I always just thought it was silly to give fish names, but he's always had a name, and it's Buddy, because he's always been my buddy. So he'll be here under the tree in my yard, marked with these stones. I'll make it prettier when I'm more in the mood. In the end, I hope to celebrate Buddy's lifetime, and in order to do that, things must keep moving forward out here in the gallery.